Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Enterprise 50 Awards. Could we ask you to come into the ballroom, locate your seats, and take your seats? We will be starting the program in about 5 minutes' time. So once again, welcome. Please find your table and take your seats. We'll be starting in just a few minutes' time. Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to the Enterprise 50 Awards. We'd like to invite you to please locate your table, take your seats. We'll be starting very, very shortly. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very, very good evening and welcome to the Enterprise 50 Awards. We will be starting shortly. Please do take your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our guest of honor for this evening, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Mr. Heng Swee Keat. Let's give him a big hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, since 1995, this award has honored more than 600 local companies who have each contributed to the development of Singapore. Welcome to the 25th edition of the Enterprise 50 Awards. And now, please welcome your host for tonight, Nikki Mueller.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Calling on to Singapore. Are you ready for a brand new beat? The best are here and the time is right to rock with E50. They're dancing in the fire. And out in Tampines, celebrating the spirit. All of you mean business, great business, innovation everywhere. They'll be swinging and swaying, awards are raining to rock with E50. We've come together for 25 years and the truth is always clear. With your passion and drive, you're born to thrive. And get your picture in the business times, 'cause we're dancing, yeah. We're dancing in the street. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, they are swinging and swaying. Awards are raining to rock with E50. We got KPMG and OCBC to rock with E50. They can hear us in JB because you party like crazy, yeah. We're celebrating your spirit. All of you mean business, great business, innovation everywhere. They'll be swinging and swaying, awards are raining to rock with E50. We've come together for 25 years and the truth has always been clear. When you got that drive, you're born to thrive. And get your picture in the business times, 'cause we're partying, yeah. We're dancing in the street. Oh, it's your time to shine, so pour some wine and rock with E50. It's our very big jubilee, so let's rock with E50. Well, congratulations to all organizations. It's time for E50. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Just a little bit of fun for all the incredible companies here, the top 50 SMEs in Singapore. You have made the cut. You are the best of the best, and particularly in 2019, the best of the rest. And it's amazing to be here with all of you here tonight. Massive thank you to KPMG. Round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Business Times. We really appreciate that, to all our donors. And of course, a massive thank you has to go to our official sponsor, OCBC Bank, for being so supportive over the years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And tonight, it is your time to shine. We are going to party and they will hear us in JB. My name is Nikki Mueller. It's such a pleasure to be back amongst all of you here tonight. I hope you will be taking pictures because we have absolutely no idea who's in 30th, who's in second, who's the top. Everything tonight is going to be announced live, all right? Only a few handful of people know who the winners are. So it's going to be big. So we hope that you're going to be taking pictures and putting it all over social media. So the official hashtag tonight is E50 Awards. We would love to be able to put on the screen some of the pictures that you're taking tonight. But if you're doing that, you need to make your profile public just for this evening so that we can flash those photos this evening. So a few things. You know that if you are here, you have really made it. You are crème de la crème. You and your organizations have been so proactive in perhaps making some changes, right? Whether it was a business model, leveraging technology, you really transform your business through innovation. And that's not easy. I know that people and companies, we don't fear change. We know change is good for us. We fear transition. And those are two very different things. But you have overcome that, and that's why you're here tonight. Could we get a show of hands or a little bit of loud screams if you are actually at E50 for the very first time? Yes, our rookies are in the house. Man, you have made it. You have no idea. This is really, you know, this is a notch on your belt. You watch your business skyrocket as soon as it comes out tomorrow that you made it to E50. Incredible. How about some of you who are back for the second, third, fourth, fifth year? Many years. Let's hear it. Ah, you see. That's incredible. You have really worked hard to be here, and we appreciate that. Let me tell you, the assessors on the panel had a very difficult time. Imagine going through all of your incredible businesses and somehow having to select only 50 in Singapore. Very, very difficult indeed. But you've managed to make it happen tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fingers crossed, you'll get to eat as well, which is fantastic. I'd like to say before we move on, a very special thank you to our guest of honor for being with us here tonight, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Finance, Mr. Heng Swee Keat. It's such a pleasure. And we'll be seeing him soon. We'd love to hear from him. But let's get the show on the road, because in the meantime, there is a gentleman who would like to welcome you all in style. He is the managing partner at KPMG. Please welcome Mr. Ong Pang Tai. Come on up, monsieur.
Very good evening. Just to manage expectation, so this is not going to be like the initial performance. So I'm not going out there to dance and sing. Guest of honor, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Mr. Heng Swee Keat. Distinguished guests from our co-organizer, the Business Times, our sponsor, OCBC, our supporting organizations, and to our Enterprise 50 participants, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to you, and warm welcome to the 25th Enterprise 50 Awards. So this is our 25th celebration. This year, Enterprise 50 Awards marks its 25th year since inception. That's since 1995. It is truly a milestone to be celebrated because of the impact of these awards, because E50 represents the best of Singapore businesses. Since we started, the Enterprise 50 Awards has seen more than 600 winners. So you may have done the calculation, it should be more than 1,000, but because they are repeat winners from year to year, through the 25 editions. And they have together, and that's just based on our back of the envelope estimates. So when we add up all the 600 odd companies, and if they were to compare to companies listed on our exchange today, they represent about 1/7 of the top line and about 1/10 of the profit. So it's quite a sizable scale if you think about what the E50 winners have contributed to the Singapore economy. More than 100 of these winners have also gone on to achieve, remarkable things. Some of them have been listed in the Singapore Exchange, and many of those companies are, in fact, operating very successfully overseas. Over the last 25 years as well, we have seen an unprecedented level of change. And just to give you, some, data points, today, 4 out of the top 5 companies in the Financial Times Global 500 are technology companies, so not a surprise. Where this same listing 25 years ago was a mix of oil, consumer, and telecom companies. So they're all totally different, the top 5 in 25 years. The emergence of new technologies from artificial intelligence to machine learning, automation, have led to reinvention of business models and different ways of working. So they're creating a lot more intermediaries, to add value to the whole value chain within, businesses and our ecosystem. Technology has also reduced the barrier to entry, creating challenger businesses. For example, we are all hearing about the digital banks licenses in Singapore and also elsewhere which have been issued. Therefore, businesses must always constantly looking for, what are the ways to create value and to make them relevant. To mark the 25th year of E50 Award, we have also introduced a new award to reflect the changing business environment. The Digital Economy Award will be awarded to an enterprise tonight that could be the next billion-dollar company. And I was told that it's already halfway there for this particular company. The aim of this new award is to include future economy enterprises with different business models deserving to be recognized as the best of Singapore's businesses. Based on our criteria, we tend to look at the past track record over the last 3 years and so on. So the new Digital Economy Award is to try to bring on board, companies with a different business model, looking at their gross merchandise value, but have not shown in terms of track record in terms of profitability. As well, we continue to recognize the persistence and perseverance of enterprises who have received the E50 awards through the years, with some being conferred 5 as well as 10 awards since the inception of this award. No stranger to the E50 awards, in this instance, is Soybil Group, a leading integrated real estate group, providing a full spectrum of real estate solutions to both private and public companies. It was conferred the 24th position in the 2001 Enterprise 50 Awards, and I'm pleased to see that the chairman is present tonight. So tonight, we welcome Soybil back into the top 50 again. They have participated again. But the significance of this return is the company has grown a staggering of 5-fold from a top-line perspective. And if I were to convert this is a CAGR of 10% each year. So it is a remarkable achievement. Another notable enterprise is MDAQ, spelled as M-DAQ, a 10-year-old homegrown fintech which carved a niche in providing a solution that enables cross-border transactions at cheaper and guaranteed exchange rates. Again, they could be a challenger organization to banks. They are uniquely able to harmonize 3 parties: the e-commerce platform, the merchant, and the buyers, by hedging to guarantee foreign exchange rates across 33 currencies, by developing algorithm to predict the demand side. And that's the differentiator for them. This results in end customers saving up to 3% on currency fees. And their goal is to make every foreign transaction local and convenient for each of those 3 parties that I mentioned earlier. And for record, MDAQ has grown 1,000 times in the last 4 fiscal years. So it's again significant, with a 300% growth in international business. To date, they have recorded over 16 billion Sing dollars in transactions value, with shopper savings of over Sing $135 million. So again, we're looking at very big numbers. Tonight, we have the opportunity to witness the results of these incredible business transformation journeys from our E50 Award winners. I hope that their stories will inspire you and all of us, motivate us, and most importantly, make us feel proud of the incredible talent and potential that local enterprises have. E50 companies continue to be an elite group which sets them apart as the cream of Singapore's business crop. Being an E50 company is a valuable mark of recognition and a testament to their sense of boldness, readiness, and adventurous spirit in ingenuity. So this is an advertisement pitch so that we get more participants over the next 25 years, and that's what we wish to see, and even more successful ones. I'm confident that all our nominees and award winners tonight will be the next generation of growth for our economy in Singapore. And last but not least, congratulations to all our nominees and award winners. I wish you a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ong. Very well said indeed. The stakes are high, and it is such a big anniversary. 25 years is no small feat. It's the Silver Jubilee. So we have to do something special for that tonight, and I promise you we will. But at the same time, we're, of course, very, very grateful to the Business Times, one of the organizers of E50 Awards. So we'd like to welcome their editor of the Business Times. Please welcome Mr. Wong Wei Kong. Come on up.
Good evening, Deputy Prime Minister, partners, ladies and gentlemen. I'm conscious that I'm speaking in between an auditor and a banker, so I leave the serious speeches to them. I would just like to say a few words about the E50 partnership. So the E50 project is really a project in partnership between the Business Times and its fellow co-organizer, KPMG, the sponsor, OCBC, supporting partners, Enterprise Singapore, the Singapore Exchange, the Singapore Business Federation, and we have a partnership too with NUS Business School to produce the E50 book, which is to raise funds for charity. BT was there right at the start with our fellow founder, Willie Cheng, and I think he's here in the audience tonight. And we are grateful for the partners who joined us over the years. And so we reached 25 years. And by any measure, it is not a small achievement. I was reading a recent article in the Wall Street Journal about divorce and marriage in the US. So it's clear that I read beyond business news. And the report found that divorce rates in the US have reached 40-year lows, except for couples who are older and who have been together for some years, like 20 years or 25 years. So there is a 25-year each. And hopefully that will not happen to the E50 partnership. Now, why do marriages and partnerships come apart? Sometimes there is a third party, and as far as I know, the E50 partners have been mostly faithful to each other, although there have been temptations along the way. Marriages and partnerships also fall apart when there is no longer a purpose that keeps them together. For the E50 partners, the one singular purpose that keeps us going is the desire to help encourage the growth of small and medium companies in Singapore as a very vital part of the ecosystem. That was our purpose at the start. It is still our purpose today. I would argue that it is even more important today in a changing and disrupted world. And partnerships and marriages come apart too when a sense of staleness and sameness settles in after many years. It's just not so exciting anymore. And I think that is an area where E50 needs to keep an eye on. Business has changed tremendously. The kind of companies coming through have also changed. And to keep relevant, E50 needs to keep pace and adapt. And in recent years, we have introduced awards for companies that are expanding overseas, companies that are innovating. And this year, we have an award for a company in the digital economy. And I think that is a given. We have to keep evolving, to keep pace, to stay relevant. So will we be here in 5 years' time to celebrate the 30th edition of E50? I surely hope so. To all of us, it is still a very meaningful project. And for the Business Times, working with companies, listed or unlisted, large, small, startups, it's actually very close to our hearts. It's something that's close to our hearts, and it's very much part of our DNA. And so if we are going to scratch that 25-year itch, it is to make this better and more meaningful, not just for the partners, but for all in the Singapore business community. On that note, I would like to thank you for all your support all these years, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Mr. Wong. And I think we can all say quite confidently here in this room that this is a marriage that will stand the test of time. Don't you worry about it. We're going to make it work. We have at least 1,000 marriage counselors in the room if ever there's trouble, all right? So as, of course, you mentioned, we are also very grateful to OCBC Bank for their incredible support. They're our official sponsor. So I'd like to welcome to the stage the head of Global Commercial Banking, Mr. Linus Goh. Thank you so much.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Mr. Heng Swee Keat, my dear partners in KPMG and the Business Times, Pang Tai and Wei Kong, winners of the 2019 E50 Award, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. We are fast approaching the end of 2019, but before we close the chapter on a year which has so far proven to be somewhat unpredictable and challenging for the global economy, I'm delighted that we are gathered here tonight to celebrate with much optimism the enduring spirit of entrepreneurship in Singapore. Even as the weakening global economy clouds the outlook for 2020, the spirit that powers the success and achievements of this year's top 50 enterprises could signal a silver lining for Singapore as we embrace the opportunities in the drive for change and sustainability across our industries and businesses. Tonight, we commemorate the 25th year of the Enterprise 50 Award, and I'm especially happy to recognize two winners from the very first edition of E50 in 1995 who are here with us this evening. Please give a warm welcome to Sam Gui of Ti Chia and Roland Ng of Tat Hong. You'll agree with me, two outstanding individuals and firms, flag bearers for Singapore enterprises, who have, over the past 25 years since winning the award, shown us how it's done. They've constantly innovated, invested in people and new technology, partnered to grow and establish their brand internationally, putting Singapore on the world map. We at OCBC are proud of our association with the E50 Awards for more than half of the 25 years. And at this significant milestone, we are very encouraged to see that more than half of this year's E50 enterprises are first-time winners. These winners are a mix of young and not so young companies who share a sense of purpose and energy to drive their ambition and their desire to transform. They've been bold in rethinking the value that they bring to their customers and are charting new ways to deliver growth and sustainability in their businesses. I would like to highlight two examples tonight. CARE is a 67-year-old air conditioning business that is disrupting its own industry and in its own unique way is helping businesses become greener. They overcame their early challenges by shifting from being installers of air conditioning units to designers of air conditioning systems, and today are positioning themselves to become the Netflix of air conditioning, as they say, offering air as a service, or cool air as a service. CARE takes over the ownership, management, and optimization of air conditioning systems for their customers, and uses advanced data sensing and analytics to monitor the performance of their systems on a real-time basis, equipping their customers with cost and energy-saving methods which result in lower carbon emissions. Another, Acrobus Systems, is a made-in-Singapore designer and manufacturer of motion control solutions and high-precision systems. Over its 15-year journey, they have invested heavily in innovation, focusing on the development of new technologies, resulting in an impressive collection of patents and solutions extending from across industries, electronics to solar energy, biomedical manufacturing and testing. Today, Acrobis is a leading company in the motion control industry with a sizable global presence and customer base. As banker to more than half of the SMEs in Singapore, we recognize the urgency, the need for change across industries towards digital transformation and sustainability for all SMEs. We've gone beyond digitalizing how we serve SMEs in their payments, their collections, and financing, to collaborating with our SME customers to co-create new ways that we can support them, anticipating their needs as they grow their ambitions further, both locally, internationally, and digitally. Leveraging transactional data, we have begun to offer working capital solutions that help customers manage their cash flow and access financing at the relevant points in their time of need. As I conclude, a very big congratulations to all the winners tonight. We consider our privilege to be walking with you in this journey, championing your big dreams. We celebrate your achievements tonight, and we hope that your work will inspire future generations of Singaporeans and businesses to boldly come forward and push the boundaries on innovation and sustainability. Have a good evening, and I hope to have the opportunity to meet with each of you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goh. If I could kindly ask you to remain on stage, please, sir, because it is the 25th year anniversary after all, so I think cake is in order. A little bit of a sweet tooth at the beginning of the night is never a bad idea. I'd like to invite Mr. Wong of the Business Times to join us, of course, Mr. Ong from KPMG in Singapore, and of course our guest of honor, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Mr. Heng Swee Keat. We do have a silver jubilee cake that we'd like to cut here, and hopefully some of you will have a chance to taste this later on. But this is something that we must do. After 25 years, I think you have all earned it. So here we go. I believe all four gentlemen will receive a knife so we can cut right through that. Here's to the next 25 glorious years of incredible SMEs here in Singapore. This is for you. Yes, please. Each one of the gentlemen should receive a knife. And we will cut right through it. We will celebrate. And on cue, we will all applaud and cheer because hopefully that will give you good vibes for a top 50 tonight. So if we are ready, we will all pick a spot in the cake. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's cut it. Happy birthday! Thank you so much, gentlemen. Happy birthday. 25 glorious years. It's the Silver Jubilee. Was that all right with our paparazzi? Is that good enough? Yes? Okay. If so, then I'll ask the gentlemen to kindly take their seats. But Minister Heng, we would love to hear from you in the meantime. Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Minister.
I'm always the one standing between you and dinner. Oh dear. Mr. Anthony Tan, Deputy CEO, Singapore Press Holdings. Mr. Wong Wei Kwong, Editor, The Business Times. Mr. Ong Pang Tai, MD, KPMG Singapore. Managing Partner, KPMG Singapore. Mr. Linus Goh, Head of Global Commercial Banking, OCBC Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me to join you for this occasion. Now, speaking after an auditor, a banker, and an editor is a tough act. And I was just wondering whether, in all your enterprising spirit, whether you could invent a robot that can make this speech for me and prepare it. And then I thought, then I can spend time with Wei Kwong, who elegantly spoke about 25 years of marriage and how to keep a marriage together. So I'm wondering whether, Wei Kwong, would you be having a report on, giving some award about 25 years of marriage, 50 years of marriage, 75 years of marriage, or some such awards in the coming years. I last attended the Enterprise 50 Awards in 2017, and the world has changed much since. Looking back, no one would have predicted the extent of change that came within just the last few years. The global economy has slowed significantly. We are at the tail end of an economic upswing, and now the situation is exacerbated by the rising tensions between the United States and China. The US-China relationship was already showing signs of strain back in 2017, but tensions have ratcheted up this year. The bifurcation of supply chains and technology is a real possibility, and the rapid advancement of technology is driving pervasive changes across all sectors of our economy and across the world. The impact of these changes is keenly felt in Singapore. Our growth has slowed significantly this year. We avoided a technical recession in the third quarter, and growth next year is projected to be modest. Now, some of you might have caught the news that PM just spoke to the editors a few hours back in Busan, South Korea, and he said that we are preparing a budget which will be strong and suitable to the state of the world and what the economy needs. Now, I can tell you that I've been discussing in great detail with Prime Minister, but I cannot tell you the details yet. But therefore, I will focus on my speech not on what the government can do for you, but what you can do for everyone. So I'll focus on my speech on what business leaders can do. Now, if change is a constant, I'm heartened that we are strengthening our spirit of enterprise in responding to changes. As we reflect on our history in our bicentennial year, what stands out is how the spirit of enterprise, grit, and can-do spirit of our forefathers have enabled us to thrive over the ups and downs over the decades and centuries. These same attributes have seen us through a number of crises since our nation's independence. Recession in 1985, the Asian financial crisis in 1997, SARS in 2003, and the global financial crisis in 2008. Each time, we emerged stronger as one people, as an economy, and as a nation. As the world continues to evolve rapidly, we must continue to keep our spirit of enterprise strong. Despite the global downturn, we have many opportunities to build on. Technology opens up new possibilities, especially in the digital economy. Southeast Asia remains a bright spot in the global economy, and so too are many other parts of the world. Our diversity continues to be our strength. By working closer together and harnessing our diversity, we can be stronger. Let me elaborate. In the age of the fourth industrial revolution, technology can disrupt us if we fail to harness it, or it can enable us if we can master it. We must, with the spirit of enterprise, explore how technology can open up innovation and new frontiers. All of you have been paying attention to changes around you. Many of you have gone on to take bold steps to transform and even disrupt your own businesses. Pang Tai mentioned MDEC in his speech earlier. I remembered in my visit to MDEC 2 years ago how passionate the team was in using technology to create new possibilities, and I'm happy to see that you are among the award winners tonight. Technology, and in particular, digital technology, offers many new possibilities to transform how we run existing businesses and to create new opportunities. It is fitting that the organizers have introduced a special 25th Year Digital Economy Award to recognize this. The government will do our best to support companies to digitalize and deploy technology. For example, EDB's Smart Industry Readiness Index serves as a diagnostic tool for manufacturing companies to support them in their Industry 4.0 transformation journey. And more than 200 companies have used this tool, and I encourage more of you to do so. The government is also rolling out a nationwide e-invoicing framework to enable businesses to streamline their processes. The government will join the network by January 2020 so that vendors can transact with us more efficiently. Many successful business leaders and entrepreneurs I've spoken to have told me how they have been leveraging on technology to disrupt themselves ahead of their competitors, how they have invested in their workers so that they have the skills to keep pace with transformation and to take on better jobs. I hope that more of our companies will do likewise. Transform your companies and invest in your people, and ride on the wave of technology to achieve greater success. As our companies strive to innovate in their businesses with technology, we can work closely to harness new opportunities overseas. Despite the global economic slowdown, the long-term prospects and vibrancy of Asia and Southeast Asia in particular are promising. Southeast Asia is projected to be the fourth largest economy by 2030, with a young and growing middle class. In fact, a recent report from Google, Temasek, and Bain & Company projected that the value of Southeast Asia's internet economy will triple from $100 billion in 2019 to $300 billion by 2025, up from the earlier projections of $240 billion. The government will continue to work closely with companies to support you in harnessing these opportunities. We'll further strengthen our connectivity with the region and the world. We're improving our digital connectivity through digital economy agreements. These new agreements further encourage cross-border trade and cooperation by establishing common standards in areas such as e-invoicing, e-payments, and digital identity. This complements our 25 existing free trade agreements, including the latest one with the European Union, which came to force just last week. Now, in an age of trade wars, I think having our free trade agreements provides a very good cover for us. Now, we're also helping companies here to make full use of these agreements for their overseas expansion. Enterprise Singapore and the Singapore Business Federation have been conducting educational and outreach activities such as training courses and business missions. Enterprise Singapore has also set up a comprehensive tariff finder search engine for companies to find out more about the tariffs and import procedures for specific products in each market. To help companies to enter different markets, Enterprise Singapore has a network of 35 offices worldwide. Our Global Innovation Alliance network is now in 13 cities. To connect our businesses with tech and business communities in key innovation hubs overseas. 3 of these nodes are in Southeast Asia, and we'll continue to grow the network when there is demand. Besides strengthening trade connectivity and expanding the networks of our companies, we have also introduced programs such as Enterprise Development Grant and Market Readiness Assistance Grant to help businesses defray costs to expand overseas. And I think many of the E50 companies will have already been expanding overseas, and if not, it will be a very important step for your growth in the coming years. So Pangtai and Linus mentioned the experiences of a few companies such as Soybuild Group, Tat Hong, and TETR just now. I'm sure many of you here have many other inspiring stories and hard-earned lessons to share. Venturing abroad is not easy, with risks involved, particularly for companies who have not done so before. So I hope that more of you will share your experiences so that others can draw insights and learn from those who have gone before them. Now, beyond learning from one another, I encourage our companies to work more closely together. Indeed, even as companies compete, there are many common challenges where we can collaborate. We can leverage on each other's strengths and achieve greater scale. We can collaborate to build our industry commons by raising the skills and competence of our managers and workers, by growing the pipeline of talent and building new capabilities. This will not only strengthen each company individually, but also enable our industries as a group to compete better regionally and globally. Merging the spirits of enterprise and the spirits of partnership will enable us to achieve more together. And this is the heart of the Singapore Together movement. So I'm glad that when Chun Seng, Iswaran, and I reached out to a few hundred business leaders last week to discuss how we can work more closely together, the responses were very positive. I will continue to build on this momentum to work with everyone to turn possibilities into action, into outcomes. Following the global financial crisis, there's been a growing distrust of big banks and big corporations in many advanced economies. Many people see the narrow pursuits of returns to capital has led to a neglect of other key stakeholders, including customers, employees, and suppliers. Many are also concerned about the damage to the environment and the deterioration in the quality of governance. In short, the expectations on companies have grown, and with your talents and capabilities, companies must not only work well with each other, but with many other stakeholders. Companies should not only do well, they should also do good. Doing well and doing good are not mutually exclusive. Consumers and employees, especially our youths, want to support companies that have a purpose and do meaningful work. Many are increasingly shunning companies that are not. If we can find a way to both do well and do good, we can not only provide returns for your shareholders, but also tackle the many challenges that the world faces, such as hunger, poverty, and climate change. Through your collective efforts, you can improve the lives of your workers, our people, and people in the region. In August 2019, the CEOs of nearly 200 companies in US issued a statement on the purpose of a corporation, stating that, and I quote, "While each of our individual companies serve its own corporate purpose, we share a fundamental commitment to all of our stakeholders," unquote. In Singapore, we also have very good initiatives such as the Company of Good, a network of more than 1,300 companies seeking to empower companies to create more impactful and sustainable corporate giving efforts that benefit both their businesses and the community. In short, beyond working together with one another to achieve business objectives, companies should also work together with other stakeholders to achieve good outcomes for our society. And a good example tonight is how the winners of the Enterprise 50 Awards have continued the tradition of working with NUS students to solve real-world business problems together and to give our students a window into the business world. Through such collaborations, I also hope that our younger generation will become more enterprising and more daring in pursuing their dreams. So in conclusion, I encourage all of you to continue to nurture the spirit of enterprise. Your ability to ride the wave of technology, harness the potential of our region, and work together will enable you to grow our company, grow our economy, and create good jobs for our people. And the same spirit of enterprise can be used to deliver not just returns of capital, but to achieve good outcomes for our society, our people, and our world. So together, let us grow Singapore as a global Asia node of technology, innovation, and enterprise. I congratulate the Business Times and KPMG for organizing the Enterprise 50 Awards for 50 years, and thank OCBC for sponsoring this event for more than a decade. I wish all of you here success for many years to come, and to everyone who have made it to this stage, I trust that you will keep your spirit of enterprise and to achieve greater heights in the years to come. like what we heard earlier on our first two winners, T.E. Chia and Roland, on what you have achieved since you won this 25 years ago. So together, we can build a better and brighter future for our people and people around us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Heng. So well said. If I could ask you to kindly stay with us on stage and to take center stage, we have something small to give you as a token of our gratitude. We're just so happy to have you back since seeing you in 2017. I'd like to also invite Professor Jochen Wirtz, the Vice Dean of Graduate Studies at NUS Business School, to present Minister Heng with something quite special. This is the 11th edition, and I believe you're receiving the first ever copy of the Enterprise 50, the best SMEs in Singapore. This is the book, and you get the first copy, and it's only right. Thank you, Professor, as well. Thank you ever so much. Gentlemen, if I could ask you to remain on stage, we do have 18 companies who are also going to be receiving signed copies by Minister Heng of the same book. Minister did mention a while ago, it's not just about doing well, it's about doing good. And I know at least for the past 11 years, Enterprise 50 along with NUS Business School since 2009 really used the Enterprise 50 book to raise funds for charity. And we have 18 companies here tonight who have generously donated $5,000 each, and I am happy to say that this is the highest ever amount that we have been able to raise for the E50 NUS Business School undergraduate bursary. That's $90,000 in a single year. We're so happy to have done it at our Silver Jubilee, our big 25th anniversary. So we'd like to present each one of these 18 companies with a signed copy of the E50 book, 11th edition. So here we go. Thank you so much to Greenpack Singapore. We have Ms. Susan Chong, who is their CEO and the president of E50 Association. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'd also like to thank Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher. We have Mr. Robson Lee, who's their partner. Thank you, sir. Many thanks goes to Elmich Private Limited. We have Mr. Raymond Lim, their Associate Director, to thank. Truly appreciate Aiksun Hardware. We have Mr. Lee Chin An, their director. Thank you. Each one of these companies donated $5,000. It's all going to the NUS Business School Bursary Fund to help the future entrepreneurs of Singapore. So we're very grateful tonight. Thank you also goes to Prime Staff Management Services. Mr. Ronald Lee is their Managing Director. Thank you as well to Lim Siang Huat. We have Mr. Jack Lim, their Managing Director. A special signed copy also goes to Time Software. Mr. Charles Lau is their Managing Director. Thank you to Photo Digital Services. Mr. Lok Hui Kun is their CEO. We're also grateful for the support from Seiko Architectural Wall Systems. Please welcome Mr. Rodney Chong, their CEO. Many thanks to Huayu. We have Mr. Lee Chi-tek, their CEO. Much obliged. We also appreciate the support from Top International Holding. Mr. Victor Tan is their CEO. Thank you. Many thanks also goes to Agore Private Limited, Mrs. Loretta Lee Junique. Thank you so much. That's right, there's absolutely nothing wrong with screaming. We love the screams in this room. Fabulous, thank you. One of our 18 donors is Nature Landscapes. Please welcome Mr. Simon Tiong, their Executive Director. Also contributing to this fund is HSF Global. We have Madame Ang Swan, their Director. Many thanks to Seng Hua Heng Foodstuff. We have Miss Po Shi Yin, their Business Development Director. Thank you very much. Please welcome Age Holdings. Mr. Po Soon Keng is their CEO. Thank you ever so much to Fong's Engineering and Manufacturing. Please welcome Mr. Jeremy Fong, their Chief Executive Officer. And our final copy, signed by Minister Heng, goes to Otto Solutions. Thank you, Mr. Andy Lai, their CEO. $90,000, the most ever contributed in a single year. Thank you so much to all 18 donors, incredible companies. Thank you, Minister Heng. Thank you, Professor Wirtz. Danke sehr. And please don't forget, everyone will receive a copy of the E50 book, but you must remember to take home the goodie bag tonight. It's very special. It's a Silver Jubilee. So, I must ask you a very serious question. Very serious question. Are you hungry? Really? Fantastic. Well, your wish is our command. I think you absolutely deserved it. A feast fit for kings and queens. That is our top E50. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You have won a chance to eat your dinner. Bon appetit. See you soon.